Good morning. Welcome once again to the Torah Delights podcast. Thank you for joining me. We are on Parshas Behaaloscha, as we are unfortunately in Chutz La'aretz. So we're Sedra behind Eretz. We are learning from Parsha, which is the Torah from brought down by Meilech Biederman. I just want to say three interesting ideas, which I hope you'll enjoy. It talks about in the beginning of this week's Sedra that the travels of the Mishkan. So pay test possibly test the chaf base Baharich or Onon ala Mishkan Yomim Rabim. Then it describes how it travelled. Shom Beneses Mesa Hashem Lo Yasu V'Yitam Shia Onon. Sometimes the cloud which accompanied the Yidden Mesaper ala Mishkan Yesh Shia Onon Me'erev Abayke V'Nala Onon, and it was the cloud and the fire at night decided when they travelled, when they didn't travel. And the Torah goes in to describe in detail these encampments. Sometimes it was a few days, sometimes it was many months when they travelled. So he says, so we know that the Torah spends a lot of time in these Pesukim talking about the encampments. On the other side, we're not told. We're not told in detail, detailed map of how long they took in each place and where they went. We know where they went, but not as detailed as the parking, as when they rested. We don't find any remes b'sukim. How long it took to go the traveling from, maybe we know something how long they're there for, but we don't know how long traveling took. So he asked, what's the Meilich to tell us more about when they encamped, which is a lot more psukim than when they travelled. So he brings down a beautiful idea from Shimshon for Hirsch. Definitely the Yidden wanted to get to, after Klis Mitzrayim. They hadn't yet done any chatoim. They were on the way to Eretz Yisrael. They definitely wanted to get to Eretz Yisrael as quick as possible. They didn't want to say in the Midbar, which was described as the Eretz Zerah, the land which was inhabitable and you couldn't plant there. At that point, they wanted to get there. It wasn't decreed on them the 40 years to stay in the Midbar. And every stop was could be seen as an ikkav that's holding back the ultimate goal of getting to Eretz Yisrael, which is what the ultimate goal. But nonetheless, this is what he's saying. They did the Divrei Hashem, even though it seemed to be holding back from their ultimate aim of getting to Eretz Yisrael as quick as they could. Nonetheless, they did also Divrei Hashem v'chonu v'lo oid. And it says further, it wasn't just a stopping; it was a whole procedure. Every time they stopped, they used to take down the whole Mishkan. They used to take it apart. Every time they used to travel, they used to take it apart, and they used to Mishkan as a whole the camps had to encamp. They had to reset up the Mishkan again, as it wasn't originally. And they didn't know how long. It could be a day, it could be a month, it could be years. They didn't know how long they would be in these places. Or like it could be that all this Torah was for only one night. Because we say that it appeared that there was no plan of action. We spent a couple of nights here. They weren't given an itinerary before they travelled. It was Api Hashem. There was no tochnit, which plan the Yidur. Nonetheless, even though they were masapin, they didn't know how long they were going to go for, when they would ultimately get there. And this is the stress. But how did they guard the what Hashem had told them? That they didn't travel. Therefore, it comes out that the traveling that not traveling and resting was more of a nesoyin than the actual traveling. He says that this showed that it cultivated the emunah and betochen in Hashem by not traveling rather than traveling. And Messiah for her, she stresses this point. She calls this also Kodesh Baruch Hu. Why did Hashem do this? To get used to the middle of patience, and giving into themselves and being mevatel themselves to the will of Hashem. Through parsha emunah, believing in Hashem, that what Hashem does for the right. That we are entrusted in Hashem's hand, who guides us until this day. And it's only for us we should just follow Alida Ela Acharaya and this is good preparation for the Golus that we're in now, and should end quickly. This was all a preparation for that of betochen and amun and Hashem, is battles to Hashem, and when it's the right time it will happen, and not when the time that we think. I want to say another idea. I hope I do it justice. It's the idea of the flags. What was the whole idea? What's going on here? Our machanei. So we know v'yisidek or machna b'nei Yehuda b'shoina b'hem she'maricha Torah v'seida masoyes the golem. Every tribe had these flags, and flags were represented. I think different animals and different symbols on them, and they all were representative of different things. And it's mentioned Parsha Midbar. It's Hamodish. Each shevet was set up divrei, and they set up there and they travelled according to their flags, and according to all had different flags, and they all travelled in different formations according to their flags. Is how they rested, how they travelled. The Chol Eid was there. Rabbi Yisrael Radville. And he asks, it's a wonder. Why should every shaver? What's the idea behind the flags? Every shaver should recognize, we should recognize Shvatim through the flags. Like in the army, every army has their own flag and emblem. We recognize what's going on. So he said it can't be that it's like it's a symbol and we just recognize it. Oh, he's this symbol, he's that symbol, and it can't be. There must be something more to the fact that it's just a symbol to recognize which shaver is. There must be something more to it. We don't need the flags for that. It's not like a flag which is by the nation. Every nation in the world has in Britain we have a Union Jack. And every country in America, it's the stars and stripes. Every country has their own flag. And Canada has the maple leaf. It can't be that was the only reason, like the nations, to recognize the nations from that. It must be the fact that Torah talks about a lot of these flags must be it must be something in Nevuah which is needed for the generations, something to a more important lesson to tell us Uchas Chaim Adracha. So he says, and it's even more wonderful if you look in the Medrash. It says, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed himself in Hasina, Yod Imoi came down with him, 22,000 Makobos Malachim. These Malachim, I'm not sure Makobos Malachim, these deluge of Melachim, these lots of Melachim, the Golem, and they assume they all had these flags, or represented by these flags. Since they saw these Melachim had these flags, they wanted these flags. We have these flags, we can become flags like them. I don't know if they were flags, they became flags, I'm not sure, but they were represented by these flags. So Hashem said his tavisim with the golem You wanted these flags for the Melachim. I'm going to fulfill your wish, and Hashem will fulfill all your wishes. Miyad Hera Kadosh Baruch Avos Yisrael. Hashem showed His Av to Yisrael. And Hashem says to Moshe, make these flags commotion and just like Yishal Diglo B'Tav, just like the Yidden saw these Melachim with these flags, and they wanted them. So the Yidden should have it. A lot of love b'schus of the golem ani gol, and it says in schus of the flags, I'm going to redeem them. What's the flags? What's the cheshivas of the flags? Redeem them for the flags. The Melachim have flags. We want them. We're giving them. What's going on here? What's this expression of love that Hashem is giving us the flags? What's it read? What's the secret? What's the idea that the Melachim got it? We have it. If it's a good thing, we should have it. That we're going to be they've got flags. We get flags. We're going to be redeemed by them. What's going on? What's the idea behind it? The Sadiqim Adoyas explain, this idea is to shirish the pure and clear emunah in Hashem. Everything Hashem does is for our good and has a reason. Hashem is Sadeh la'odom, and Hashem is both Mesadeh la'odom as Mekayma, and this is Hashem is Mesadeh. Hashem puts in, makes for every person his place, v'digloi, and his flag in his v'digloi, haroi like kafiyah kavanas eliyah, according to Hashem's intention for that person. And more that everything a person does is controlled through the Ratzon Hashem. It's not happenstance that happens like that. It's because Hashem wants it to happen. Every asherak al yodam yuchal lasos rotzen, and a person can only fulfill his tafkid if Hashem wants him to do that. A person gets bechira, not get into that, but it's all connected to Hashem. Hashem knows what a person's doing, and Hashem is fully aware of what a person's doing, and helps them do it, or not do it. Many people will say, if I'd been given the head of this person, the brains of this person, or then I'd understand Torah better, and if I'd be given a good heart like Reuven, or money like Shimon, then I'm in finance, and I could support the widows and orphans, and I could bring an end to poverty in the world. Everyone looks at Be'emes, you should really know Ki HaKadosh Baruch, and this is the idea of the flags, and every person has their own flag, every person has their own representation. Ki HaKadosh Baruch Yedeh Ta'alumas Makeh Gam Kein B'chol Cheshbonos Rabban Alon. Hashem knows all the cheshbonos. Hashem knows you haven't got the best, or you have, or whatever. Hashem knows all this. Or B'yod HaKoach HaGvul Asas G'chamoson. Hashem could make you clever. Hashem could do whatever he wants. The fact is, He's giving you your situation. Hashem puts everyone into the situation which is the best situation for them. So a person shouldn't think this is the better situation. And this is the idea. This is what the Yidden saw at Matan Torah. This is represented the flags and the Melachim. At Matan Torah, He came down with these companies by the Melachim. The Yidden saw this Dova Pella. Each Malach wasn't jealous of his friend. Every Malach stood in his place. And he didn't try to even go into his friend's place. Malach Mechoyo ein lo rotzen oikina oitava. Malach Mechoyo didn't have the rotzen oitava to go into the border, into the space, into the area, into the life of Gabriel. No one, everyone was happy with how they were represented. Their own ultimate aim was to give praise to Hashem, glory to Hashem. Then, Ozvina b'nei Yisrael, the Yidden understood Cheshivas Midazu. They understood this midah of accepting that every person has their own tachlis. through accepting it, not trying to be better, or the person can be better, but not trying to encroach and say, working with what one has, then a person will fulfill his rots and Hashem, accepting this is what Hashem's given to me, this is how I can serve Hashem, this is what I can do, and that will give praise to Hashem. And a cotton who fulfills someone who's given certain circumstances in life, and he fulfills his shlichus, he is choshev b'shemaim, he's considered shemaim, kagodl amale b'shchose, like a godl who fulfills his. Every person's got his own lepachas leyoyis. Everyone's got his own tachlis. Since this is what the flags represent, every person is unique. Every person. So therefore, I'm going to this will be your zechus. Therefore, that's why I'm going to give you the flags. If that's what you want to be, that's what the flags represent. And so this is the idea of the chen kosov and the Biederman b'nei Soscha. He further elaborates on this point that the flags represent every person's own uniqueness, and represents the Meilechim who the Meilechim had these flags, and they wanted to this like the Meilechim. I think this is the idea. This like the Meilechim who had these flags represented, and these flags represented that the Meilechim, every single Meilech has his own job to do, and this was what it wasn't a flag for the sake of a flag; it's what it represented. And in this case, therefore, if every person fulfills his own tachlis, and I think then that will bring the geula, and that will bring the ultimate joy to Hashem. But every person doing what they're supposed to be doing. I want to say one more beautiful idea. It brings me to the end of the Sedra, and it says about the trumpets. So it says that Moshe Rabbeinu made these trumpets, and he blew the trumpets to get the 12 and the Siyim. Pasuk Yud Pasuk Dalet. Ibachas Itokim Noida V'Noida Nasim. He blew the trumpets. V'Noida Eilecha Nasim Moshe Alpha Lofa. And the Nasim came to Moshe Rabbeinu. So the Chayra, listen to this, Rabbi said. The Chayra Kasha is difficult. The Chilik Kros Yud Beis Anoshim B'Tech B'nei Yisrael. To call these 12 Nesiim from the Bnei Yisrael, we needed trumpets. Madua lo nishnach shiliach, he could send a shiliach sheyikon asifa, and they'll come. No, knock on everyone's door and say, Moshe Rabbeinu wants you, please come. I'm not sure. Hey Reish Lamed Beis Gimel. I'm not sure who that is. I don't want to do the service to the tzaddik whose name it is. I'm not sure. Harab. I don't know. I'm sorry. If this is beautiful. If Moshe Rabbeinu would have sent shluchim, there would have been place for the Yetzirah to say, to start the Yetzirah to start machlokas between the Nesiim. But time he could have said, why was Nossi? Why was the first Nossi called by Moshe Rabbeinu? When were you called? I was called 5 minutes ago. I was called 10 minutes ago. It could start. You know the reason Moshe Rabbeinu called the Shliach called me first, because I'm more important than you. You're not so important. It could Tislava, it's machlokas. It could conflagrate machlokas, and this is what Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want, and Aaron didn't want, and he took into account that this is potentially yes, and the Siyim of Gedolim and Sadiqim, but he still took into account that this might happen. There might be a chance of this happening, so he wasn't prepared to take the risk. But the Siyas from Mishirena, therefore the Torah says, by blowing one tekiah, all the Nesiim were invited. It was a special tekiah that they blew, special note that they blew. Covered, and every Nosi was the same covered, got the same message at the same time, and this would close the mouth of the Baal Machlokas. This would shut down any Machlokas, any possibility of Machlokas. And he says, that maybe you'll say, why should I should think so much about planning? He's taking it the wrong way. If I called him first because he was the first guy on my route, and he takes it in a bad way. That Moshe Rabbeinu thinks he's Mochoshev, not Mochoshev. That's his problem. But therefore I'm doing the right thing. So Shavasai, the Chiddush Arim answers the parsha in this parsha Pasuk Perek Yud Beis Pasuk Gimel. V'ish Moshe Ono Ma'od. Moshe Rabbeinu was very on, the most humble person. But Rashi says Shofel, but Sablan he was Shofel. and patience. Ubia Chodesh Harim explains this shofel v'onov who be'emes Meilech gedolah moed. He says to be shofel, to consider oneself low and be an onov and be humble is definitely a big Meilech. Afish Meilich yosim is. He says, however, there's an even bigger Meilech, and that sheyochel lispol es shiflus chaveira. He should consider the shiflus of his friend, the loneliness of his friend. He consider that what effect this might have on his friend. By he may think he's he might think he's not considered as choshev as someone else, and be considered. That's what he's saying. Consider the shiftless of his friend. And therefore, this is what Moshe Rabbeinu did. He was humble, but he also considered other people's feelings, that maybe they would take it in the wrong way, and therefore he wasn't prepared to let that happen. Therefore, the Torah said, blow the trumpet. That's how the trumpet should be blown, and therefore to avoid that. I wish you a wonderful Shabbos. I wish everyone should be healthy and stay healthy, be well. I wish you a wonderful Shabbos. torah.podcast@gmail.com, or you can email me info@netfurniture.co.uk. I'd love to hear from you. Be well. Have a lovely Shabbos.